everybody, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to talk about where I've been, what has happened to me the last few weeks, because I was looking at like the videos when I last posted, and turns out the last time I posted it was a sermon. I didn't finish translating the for the other languages, like for English and for Portuguese, and it was about a month ago. I have this thing that like things are and people are in the back of my mind, but as I get going and live in my head a lot, and I kind of forget that things exist. Like I forget that I was doing stuff, and then at some point, sometimes it's months later, I'll remember like, hey, I haven't talked to that person in a while. And or like, man, it's been like a few days since I talked to that person, and I'll call them or whatever, and they're like, no, Diane, it's been months, you know. So it's something that I'm working on, something that I'm trying to create new routines, but I realized that it's been weeks. And I was thinking, oh, what happened? Why did I stop? I was doing so well recording and stuff. This is what happened. This is part of the testimony. So a lot of things happened in the last month. A lot of things happened during the summer, and yeah. So before I stopped recording, I was feeling a little down because I started comparing myself. Now, I know that in the book of Ecclesiastes, there is a verse in the Bible that talks about comparison, and how we should not. No, it's not Ecclesiastes. I want to say it's Ephesians. I did a Bible study on it and I can't remember. But there's a verse in the Bible that talks about not comparing yourself. And so I was just really struggling because I started making these videos this year, and I wanted to be consistent and I wanted to get the word out. And I know that there are people that are watching, even though this channel is tiny by comparison, but I know that there are people that are watching that really love the message and it speaks to them. And honestly, guys, I really do want to thank you, because every single time throughout the years that I want to give up because I see the size of the channel, or I see that like nobody's responding or whatever, right? There's somebody comments and says, man, I really needed that word, or thank you for this message, or I didn't understand that passage and I was searching on YouTube and your video popped up and clarified it for me. And so that's why I made this channel, right? I made this channel so that, and my prayer was always, Lord, even if I don't get any subscribers at all, even if nothing, but if one soul, Lord, even if it's just one person that comes back to you, or that their walk with you becomes, is strengthened because of these messages, or accepts you in your heart, in their heart because of these messages, I've done my job. Even if there's nothing. This channel was never for growth. It was never for me to be known. It was never for me to get paid for it or nothing like that. Like, I have a different, I think, mentality than the other Christian channels in that sense. It was always like with that prayer, even if it's just one person that comes back to you or comes to you through these messages, that's what I'm here for. And with YouTube, though, with social media, you start comparing yourself, and you start forgetting the vision and forgetting what God called you specifically to do. And so right at the end there, I was feeling a little bit like I was just doing it because I had to, because I said I was going to do it. And so I think that's why I stopped and kind of forgot about YouTube. And right before I stopped, I been through a divorce a few years ago, about 3 years now. And 3 years or going on 4? I'm not sure. It's been a while. But I went through a lot, guys, and I'm finally ready to talk about it in public. I know that a lot of my friends and family in my personal life actually watch it, and that's why I don't share more of my personal life, because I know that people that know me, they actually watch these videos, and then I don't want them to know stuff. But, you know, I'm Christian, and God called me to be a living testimony of His glory, and I have to be real and I have to be raw. And so there are certain things that I'm finally ready to share. But, you know, I went through, I mean, it was tough. Emotionally, it was really, really tough. I was down in the pits. I started feeling anxiety. I started getting anxiety attacks after my divorce, after everything went down. And so a lot of these messages that I'm gonna cry. Oh my gosh. But a lot of these messages that I share with you guys, and the things that I say to you guys, know that they are things that I'm learning myself. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not here as a perfect Christian. I have so many faults. It's not even funny. Um, People who know me personally know I have so many faults. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. I'm still trying to figure out so many things and trying to understand, and finally understanding how much God loves me. Um, and I'm 31, so it's been a while. Uh, but yeah, so I was down and just feeling hopeless, really hopeless. And I felt like I was stuck. I really felt like I was stuck. We're entering the testimony part, okay? This is gonna be a long video. Grab coffee, grab tea, because, you know, it's one of those videos. But I was feeling really just stuck. I'm living in my parents' basement, which I'm so blessed. That's another testimony all in itself. And I'm so thankful. But as a 31-year-old, with 2 kids, and I had, you know, no career, and going back to live in my parents' basement, and it was just a slap in the face for me. It took me a while to really accept that and get over it. um, and I just felt stuck. I felt like I was always going to be living here. I felt like I was always going to be living that same life. Like I was never going to move forward. And I am blessed to have people in my life that they slap me in the face, you know, with their words, and at their correct moment, they really know how to get me going. And so I started applying for a job. I was telling a friend of mine, you know, how I was feeling, and she started saying, like, stop it, do something about it, you know. And so I started applying for a job, because I was like, and I was started applying. So I made my resume, and I started applying for a few jobs over and over again, and nobody was calling. And usually in the past, I got calls, you know, right away. I did interviews very well. I was good, but nobody was calling. And these jobs that I was applying for, that I thought were good for me, right? Nobody's calling. And one of the things that I had started during the few months ago was, after my kids went to bed, I would just sit in my bed and I would talk to God. I would say, Lord, sit in front of me here as a therapist. We're gonna have a therapy session, and please just heal my heart and show me, you know, what's going on, and just be my therapist right now. And I would start, whatever was on my mind, I would start talking to him. And honestly, like, I would sit down and I would look forward as if I was looking at a person. I saw somebody there. I did every night. And one of these little therapy sessions with God, I was sitting down and I said, Lord, I was crying. I said, I feel like I'm stuck. I don't know what to do, because I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids to take care of, and I need to work. But who's gonna drop them off at school? Who's gonna pick them up from school. If they get sick, how am I going to do it? You know, and then daycare is expensive, really expensive. That's going to take a big chunk out of my paycheck. And if they get off of school early, dismissal, or late to, late, like, to get to school later, how am I going to do it if I'm in a full-time job? Then I'm going to have to pay more daycare, and I'm just like talking and talking and talking and talking with God, right? And I'm just going on and on and on. I said, Lord, I don't know how to do this by myself. Nobody taught me how to do this by myself. I don't know how other parents do it. I don't know, if you're married to somebody, you have help. You can have another income and somebody picks up, somebody drops off, but I have nobody else to be doing all of these things. And I want to move out. I want to have my own place. I want to do other things, but I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this by myself. And I went to sleep, and then the next day we qualify for free lunch at school. And so during the pandemic, the buses were driving around and dropping off food for us that would be my son's lunch at school. They would drop off during the school year right here, because school is being done at home, right? Not online, before. And with the school lunches, they dropped off a flyer from their company, and it said that they were hiring mechanics, and they were hiring school bus drivers, and they had benefits, and it was a part-time job, and their pay rate was good, and and the thing that sold me was, it said that I could bring my kids in the bus with me. And so I applied, and honestly, I was like, wow, I can bring my kids with me. I applied. I got a call right away. I went in for an interview. Horrible interview. I did horribly. I was like shaking in my boots. But I got the job, and I started training. Now, if you know anything about bus driving, I thought it was easy. No. I went through training for like 2 months, and the first month I was still doing videos, and the second month is when I fell off the wagon. But you go through so many classes and so much training, because you have to get your CDL license, then you have to do a whole bunch of classes for just driving the bus, and then you have to do your practical on top of it, and then you have to do I was there, guys, every day. I was exhausted. It was like the PSIs and the tread of the tires and all of these things that I did not know, and it was so exhausting in my brain, because I don't know about trucks or anything. And I was always, Lord, if it's really your will for me to be in this job, if it's a door that you're opening, help me pass this test. Boom, I passed the test. And it was 6 tests, and I always pray that, and I passed every single one of them. And then at the end, when I passed all of it, I was like, wow, Lord, how blessed am I, right? I was trying to figure out, because I knew that I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. I knew that I could take my 4-year-old to in the bus with me, so I wouldn't have to pay daycare and stuff. But my son would be starting school. He is next week starting school. And who's going to drop him off at school? Who's going to pick him up at school, right? Because maybe I'm not going to do it on time. I don't know. So what ended up happening was I was like asking around. And finally, one of my managers said, she's like, well, you can just take him in the bus with you. And then with the bus, you can, after you're done with your route, with the bus, you can go to his school and drop him off at school. And I was like, what? I can do that with the bus? And she's like, yeah, you could just, drive with him and then drop him off at school. I was like, oh, thank God, And then there's after school. What if I don't make it on time? So I was praying and I was like, Lord, I need to have his route. I need to have his school. And I asked the person in charge of the routes, and she said, somebody's already in charge of that. Somebody's already taken that school, but you can take the other ones. And so I said, well, okay, and I was looking for after school care. It was like $17 a day or something. And I was trying to do the math, because I'm going to be paid. It's a good pay, but it's part-time. So it's, and I'm trying to do all the math and stuff, and trying to do the math of like, when do I have to get up? When do I have to finish? When do I have to do this and do that because of the kids? And I go in a few days later, for something else, and she says, oh, Diana, you're really going to be happy with me. I said, what's up? She said, I gave you his school. And I said, what? Because there was somebody that was going to do it. And so now I'm going to be able not only to take both of my kids in the bus with me in the morning, drop my son off at school because I'm going to be dropping, that's part of my route. Not only that, but in the afternoon, as part of my route, I can be there with a bus, and he's going to be a bus driver, right? Like bus rider, because I'm going to be driving the bus. And so I won't have to pay after school or before school care. I won't have to pay daycare. I'm going to be doing all of that. If anything happens to them, I can take them in the bus. If there's late arrival or early dismissal, it's my route, so I'll be there to pick him up and drop him off with the other kids. And not only that, but if something happens for whatever reason, there's always a bus driver on call there's always somebody there to do my route, if God forbid something happens. And they're really understanding. I mean, I'm sure that it'll be hectic. I'm scared of the first day because of the pre-trips, and then I have to go do the pre-trip of the bus and then run back and get my kids and do back and forth. But hey, God has helped me thus far, and I know he will continue. So all my prayers that I was like, God, how am I gonna do it? How am I gonna do it? So I'm a bus driver now. I got my CDL, my CLP, and passed the practical, shaking during the practical, passed it all. Thank God, I have so far good coworkers, and I'm praying, Lord, why did you put me here? I know that it was a job that I prayed for, with the exact things that I needed, exactly how I needed. I know that it's his answer, but I said, I'm supposed to be the light, so show me who I'm supposed to reach in this company, because from what I see, there's a lot of drama going on there too. So, that's my testimony. That's where I've been in the last month. That's why I stopped recording, because I've been busy with practicals, and it was just like studying. And I would come home, I had to feed the kids and do other things, and so I didn't have much time to do other things. But make sure to pay attention to what God is doing around you. When you pray, watch him work in your life, and pour out to God, knowing that he's your father and he understands your heart, and he wants the best for you and to take care of you. But we often see like tunnel vision. We only see one thing. He sees everything. So bring it to him, who sees everything and knows everything, that can help you with exactly what you need. Sometimes we settle for other things that might be okay. It works in these areas, but it doesn't work in these areas. No, he knows exactly what you need and the timing. So trust in him. Be still and know that he is God. So thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking with me this whole time. And let me know, actually, in the description box, what has God done in your life? Tell me a testimony about your life for the past month or so. What has God been doing in your life that you want to share with the world? Count your blessings, right? So God bless you. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.